Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Tales from the Road, where I tell you all of my adventures that I had traveling the highways and byways of the U.S. and Canada. Most of these stories are in the early days. This one actually goes back to about 1991. I was playing with a band called Rocky Mountain Thunder, and they were a lot of fun to play with. We were kind of like a high-energy country band, and we had two girl singers at front of the band, so it never got boring. It was like the show always moved, so it was always a lot of fun. So on this particular trip, we're going to take a trip up the East Coast, and we're going to stop in Virginia. We're going to stop in New Jersey. Then we're going to go to Canada, and on the way back, we're going to stop in Maine. And the agent said he might have some more work for us on the way back, so we don't have such a long drive from Maine to Nashville. It's a long drive. So I meet the band, and it's in August. So I meet the band at their house, and they actually live up in Goodisville, and it was really hot. It was like 99 degrees, because sometimes in the South, at the end of August, it's the hottest month, and sometimes you kind of go into like a drought where it doesn't rain, and it was just really, really super hot. So we're pulling out of the parking lot, and we haven't even, like I said, we haven't even hit the road yet. We're just trying to get out of the parking lot of this place where we met. We had a motor home, and the air conditioner goes out, and I'm like thinking, wow, it's just blistering hot. It's because the van didn't even have time to cool off. But we didn't have time to get it fixed. We had to hit the road because we had to get to this gig. So we drive on, get to at night. I remember it kind of cooled off a little bit, but it was still very, very uncomfortable in the van. And so I remember we get to this place in Virginia. I don't remember the name of the town. I even tried to look it up on the map, and nothing rang a bell, because this place was really off the interstate. It wasn't really like in a town, I remember. It was just a motel, hotel, and a bar off the interstate. It wasn't too far from Washington, D.C., from what I remember. So anyways, we get there, and I think we're about to set up, and I think the girl singer and I, one of the girl singers and I, we decided to go into the little restaurant and get something to eat. And the waitress asked us, hey, she was real nice. She goes, where are you guys from? She thought we were passing through. Said, no, we're the band. We're the band. We're here to play this week. You say, oh, yeah, you're the band. She goes, you guys get 50% off of your food. And I thought, wow, that's a good deal. I might be eating every day here if I'm going to get 50% off. So everything went well. We had our meal. And I think, I don't know if we had already set up, but I think we go back to the hotel to rest because we got to play that night. And then a couple of nights later, they tell us, we have a talent show tonight. And we have a DJ who MCs it, but he hasn't showed up. So we need one of you guys in the band, because we had two girls, and they specifically said, one of you guys in the band to do this. Well, the other guys were like, oh, we can't do that, because the guitar player, he was from New York, so he sounded like Rocky Balboa when he talked. So there's no way he could do it. And the bass player was just kind of and he was my roommate. He was kind of like just kind of a goofy guy, and he sounded like a cartoon character, so he had no voice to do it. So they kind of looked to me, and they basically are saying, you're going to have to MC it, Marco. It's on you. And I'm like, gosh, I'm not a front person. I'm not used to standing in front of people with a microphone. I don't know if I can do this, but I remember I just had to suck it up, and I had to do it because nobody else in the band could do it or wanted to do it, So I get up there. I remember they give me a piece of paper, and they have the names of the contestants. And so I remember, like, the first one, I say, okay, Sally Smith, come up to the stage and show us what you can do, or whatever. So she comes up. I'm sure she sang a song. What's interesting was, in this particular show, the band didn't have to back up anybody. I don't know if they had tracks or what, but we didn't have to play for anybody. So it kind of gave us a break. Okay, she gets done. Another person. Okay, Tony Jackson, you're next. Come on up to the stage and, give him a big hand. And so by this time, I'm just kind of like loosening up and kind of getting into it a little bit. So I just start making things up about people, like, yeah, Tony likes to ride motorcycles late at night. And, I just start off the top of my head, and it seemed like it loosened me up, and the crowd reacts a little bit to it. It was kind of funny. And so I look down at the paper, and there's the next guy's name is Red. and I see Red off to the side of the stage there, and he's a big guy, you know. I don't know, it was like six something. He was taller than me. I'm 6'2", and I just said, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Big Red." And you know, everybody just kind of reacts to that, and it just sounded funny whenever I would say Big Red, and I'd say, "Give Big Red a big hand. He's going to sing for you tonight." And I just start making up things about him. Big Red does his song. I don't know what he's singing. I said, "Ladies and gentlemen, give Big Red a big hand," as he goes back and takes a seat because he's got to leave early. And I'm just making up stuff. So it was really interesting because, you know, what I learned was sometimes when you have to do something, you can do it. I had to really get out of my comfort zone. I broke out of a shell. I felt like I broke out of some kind of shell that night. And it was fun. I was starting to have fun with it. Well, before I could get to the next contestant, and no telling what I would have said about the next person, the DJ comes walking in, and you know, he motions to me that, you know, I'll take it from here. And I'm going, gosh, you know, I was just starting to get into this, and he's got to show up and ruin my gig, whatever, my debut as a MC. But it was okay. So I gave him the paper. You know, he does the show. I sit back down. I watch the rest of the talent show, I remember. And then, you know, the week came to an end where we pack up. We're heading off to New Jersey now. And I remember the girl singer and I, again, we go to the restaurant to have a meal before we hit the road. And it was a real snooty waitress this time. She was kind of snooty. And you know, "Oh, we're the band," you know, because it was a different waitress. And he goes, "Oh, you're not playing here this week. You guys are done. You don't get your 50% off anymore." Oh, okay. So I didn't get 50% off of my last meal in Virginia before I head to New Jersey. But that's okay. Everything worked out well, and it was a lot of fun doing the gig. So I had a great time to the start of this long road trip. Okay, more later.